Have you ever wanted to fix a broken situation so badly that you completely ignored the reality staring right back at you? We often tell ourselves that with enough love, sympathy, and sheer willpower, we can mend any wound and tame any chaos. But the truth is, some things are entirely out of our control. Consider the story of Mr. John, a fisherman who spent his days out on the water, surrounded by vast, quiet emptiness. The isolation eventually wore him down, leaving him profoundly lonely. When that kind of agonizing internal void takes hold, it acts as a blinder. It makes us desperate to feel connected, even if it means stepping completely out of touch with external reality. Driven by that desperation, John made a trade at the local market. He handed over his entire livelihood, a massive basket of freshly caught fish, in exchange for a squirming tiger cub. Instantly, the severe isolation that had plagued him vanished. He was entirely consumed by the joyful, immediate attachment he felt toward his new companion. John believed that his deep affection could somehow rewrite the rules of the wild. He assumed that because he loved the animal would simply love him back. This is a classic psychological trap. He was using a highly volatile external fix to pacify a deep internal wound, completely ignoring the danger he was bringing into his home. The village elders recognized the threat immediately. They warned John, laying out the objective reality that this was an apex predator, inherently dangerous and unsuited for a quiet domestic life. But John brushed them off. His overwhelming emotional need easily overpowered their logic, leaving him convinced he was the exception to the rule. He did make one concession to safety, constructing a heavy iron cage right on his veranda, where he raised the tiger as it quickly grew in size and strength. Through the bars, John subjectively felt he was nurturing a close friend. But the objective reality was sitting right there. You do not need iron bars to protect yourself from a friend. Confusing a physical barrier with true domestication creates a highly fragile illusion of control. The cage was not changing the tiger's nature, it was just temporarily containing it. Then came the unpredictable variable. While John was away at a distant market, a massive landslide tore through the mountain road, sealing off the only route back to his village. He was physically stranded for 5 long days. The situation was completely out of his hands, and that fragile illusion of control he had built was entirely severed. Back on the veranda, nature was taking its course. Isolated in its cage, the tiger was left starving, scared, and reverting entirely to its most base, aggressive instincts. When the road finally cleared and John returned, he saw his suffering companion. Acting purely out of desperate sympathy, he unlocked the cage to comfort the animal, and the wild tiger instantly attacked him. When raw survival is on the line, natural instincts will always overpower subjective human empathy. The tiger did not attack out of malice, it attacked because it was a tiger. We look at John's story and see a tragic, preventable mistake. Ignoring fundamental natural laws in the name of sympathy inevitably leads to harm. This diagram shows how this same dynamic plays out in human behavior through a psychological concept called true nature masking. Just like that untamable tiger, we frequently encounter unfixable human situations, often hidden beneath a fragile outer shell. People will sometimes construct this temporary veneer, a desire to please, specifically to mimic what you want to see. It effectively hides their unchangeable traits to keep you close, but time and pressure inevitably crack that shell. The facade crumbles away, and the unchanged core underneath is exposed. Reality always resurfaces. Acknowledging these immutable traits early on is not cruel, it is necessary. It is the only reliable way to prevent predictable emotional and physical harm. Finding true peace means accepting unchangeable realities exactly as they are, rather than desperately trying to force them to fit your own emotional desires. When you encounter unfixable people or deeply toxic situations, you have to establish firm boundaries. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to maintain a safe distance. So look at the situations in your own life. Identify where you might be ignoring the obvious, and practice accepting reality today. Till then, stay patient, stay grateful, and keep moving forward in life. Because true harmony is found not in taming the world around us, but in understanding our place within it.